DSS boss in big trouble as video surfaced of how Nnamdi Kanu was beaten thoroughly in DSS detention after the last hearing that led to his terrible illness. Finally, the truth is out. Yes, that's what I'll call it. The truth is finally out. You know that Nnamdi Kanu is very sick right now. Very, very sick right now. And that is the cause of the attack he received after the hearing at Umuahia. The reason why he was attacked or given that kind of beating in DSS custody has not yet been revealed. And that is what has led to the resurfacing of the video. My dear listeners, you will shed tears for the IPOP leader. You will shed tears. I think it was during the process of planning his transfer that actually led to the exposure of this video. My dear people, it's a shocker. Let's check the content. This is Evening News. Interesting. Truth finally revealed of what led to the sickness of Nnamdi Kanu in DSS custody. A video has finally surfaced of the pain Nnamdi Kanu underwent after the last hearing at Umuahia Court. The IPOP leader who was moved to DSS custody underwent a thorough torture in DSS custody over a mere misunderstanding between him and one of the officers. It was reported that very officer hit Nnamdi Kanu with the police stick on the head that led to a serious bleeding. After that very day, the IPOP leader developed a very serious fever, which now resulted to something very serious. This information was actually revealed by one of the prisoners who observed the scenario and also called for intervention. During the investigation of this, the officer who was actually caught doing this has denied the attack, saying that it was the IPOP leader who tried to get him overpowered that led to him using the stick on him. As we speak, the officer has been dragged to detention for questioning. My people, no matter what, no matter how, no matter the misunderstanding that may have occurred between Nnamdi Kanu or any officer in DSS custody, I tell you that shouldn't have led to the using of such a stick on the IPOP leader. Nnamdi Kanu is not a kid now. He's not a kid. And the officer did not use that very stick on his body, but on his head. On his head. And everybody knows how strong that very stick is. Everybody knows how strong that very stick is. You can see the wickedness that these people are actually putting up. You can see. And when one is lamenting and shouting, Mr. President will be saying, yes, that the IPOP leader actually was the one to be blamed. That is because he has a natural hatred for them. You see, this is one of the reasons why everybody is saying that that Nnamdi Kanu is not safe in that very detention. Everybody is lamenting about it, that the IPOP leader is not safe. That something quick needs to be done to save him from that very detention, and which is true. Which is very true. Do you know that very stick used on his head is enough to make Nnamdi Kanu pass out. That Nnamdi Kanu is still very much alive in that very detention is only by the grace of God, because God doesn't want him to die. Doesn't want him to die. God wants him to be alive and complete what he has been called for and what he has been called to do. Imagine, from that very bleeding, it led to something else. You know that the brain, since that very stick was used on his head, definitely to affect the brain, and you know that the brain is connected to other parts of the body, so that is why it now resulted to something else. And you know that Nnamdi Kanu is no more a kid. A man of 50 something years old is an aged person, so the head is not that strong anymore like a 30 something years old person or 20 something years old person, and they use such a stick on him. It's wrong, absolutely wrong, my dear listeners. So, my dear listeners in the house, let me hear you and know what your take and opinion on what has just been reviewed. Maybe don't forget, your comments are very, 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 very important. Don't forget to leave them below the comment section. Click on the subscription buttons as well as the bell buttons to get updated each time we upload any new videos. Thank you.